RogueBlox players might be some of the most clinically insane group of people I have ever seen in my entire life. I am trying my absolute hardest to not insult certain people in the comments of my last video, but some of the points I have read are the worst arguments I've seen in years, and half of the comments on that video aren't even arguments, they're just insulting me for insinuating a system which makes Robux, the game's economic currency, is a bad idea for Roblox as a platform. In today's video, I wanted to cover more of the last video's topic in greater detail, as well as respond to some of the comments and claims that you guys left. Make sure to subscribe and let's get straight into it. Anyway, let me draw another parallel so you guys can really understand why the Bazaar is just an awful mechanic for Roblox as a whole. The platform of Roblox. Not just RogueBlox the game. For reference, the last video I made, I spent 5 of the 8 minutes it ran for talking about Roblox as a platform being harmed by the addition of the Bazaar, because it can start a new trend of Robux-based economies in Roblox games, which would be abused by scummy devs in the future. I start talking about the game's actual pay-to-win aspects of it 6 minutes in the video, but the average retention for that video is well below average with my regular ones at 4 minutes. So statistically, most of the people commenting didn't even hear what I said about the actual game of RogueBlox being somewhat pay to win, and decided to comment off of the title alone without watching the video, which is mostly talking about Roblox as a platform. Which, in response to that, the title of the video is the Roblox pay-to-win problem, but it's not necessarily a problem with RogueBlox itself being pay-to-win. Yeah, it can be in the future, which I'll discuss later because I think the game is going down a very pay-to-win path, which it could be in the future, but it's more so the issue of RogueBlox starting a trend which is going to start the problem of a lot of pay-to-win Roblox games. Regardless, let me bring up Diablo 3 and I'll talk more about why the game is going to become pay-to-win or die in the future. But Diablo 3, a game that came out in 2012, which had a pretty much identical player economy system to RogueBlox, and that game made global news for it because it was such an awful idea. There is no reason for why RogueBlox should be under less scrutiny than Diablo 3 because it's a Roblox game. If you can't see why the Bazaar system is awful, then you need to look at the bigger picture and look into the future. It's bad for Roblox, and it is blatantly pay to win when it comes down to the really expensive Rogue Lineage artifact tier items that you can buy. Which, since the rainbow rarity items can't be sold or traded, that's good. But good thing the video is about the platform though, not that most of the people who watched it understood that. With that being said though, the problem is that over time as the game gets updated, they will need to stimulate the player base with rarer or harder to get items, which will then become less actively obtainable, and people are going to just start, charging exorbitant prices for them on the Bazaar. And if they don't, well then the items aren't hard to get, the players have no real reason to grind them out, then the game kind of dies because it lacks longevity. I'll talk more about that later. But let's address some comments. I'll paraphrase them as to not make it too easy to attack people in the comments, but the first one reads, "Yeah man, you're terrible if you think the game is pay to win. People put everything good up there for 10k plus Robux, so nobody's buying it. Do you really think that the best and super rare items being more expensive makes the game less pay to win? If I wanted to, I could buy up half the Bazaar's most expensive items right now with little downside. The point being, more expensive makes it more pay to win because it's less accessible to people. If there are exclusive items up there that people don't know how to completely obtain yet, because there's no way the game is completely grafted already. Not that I really care, because the point of the video was that, the Bazaar is a terrible system from every aspect you can look at it from. The items being more expensive doesn't make the game less pay to win, it makes the game more pay to win, which is just going to change over time into a worse system." Now, next comment. "Can content creators stop hating on the game so I can enjoy it for the summer?" How does that affect your enjoyment of the game? I'm not even hating on the game. I'm hating on a singular terrible system in the game that's going to set a negative status quo for Roblox developers as a whole. I literally made a video saying that you guys should have fun with the game if you enjoy it. The last video isn't me hating on your favorite new Roblox game, it's me talking about why it shouldn't have introduced the Bazaar. Go enjoy the game and don't worry about what other people say about it. If you like it, and that's all that matters. Now, the next point of contention is the 2 or 3 people who watched the intro and heard me talk about classes and left the moronic comment saying, "Did he just say that having a lot of classes is bad?" No, obviously not! I'm listing points of game retention commonly used by developers in recent times involving Roblox games. Why would multiple classes be a bad thing? That's not even part of the video. It's still just a couple of words I say in the intro while specifically talking about retention points and things that game devs do to incentivize people to play their game more. That has nothing to do with the game being pay to win. You guys are just nitpicking there. That's straw man. manning. You're straw manning my arguments. Next comment is actually a two-thread of comments from the same person. The first comment being, I think you're just too used to corrupt developers who groom kids and abuse perms. To which I respond with, why are you giving any development team credit off of a previous track record like you know these people personally? That doesn't make sense. You didn't know that these devs were grooming kids before it came out that they were. You probably thought they were alright people, didn't you? Yeah, you think the current devs of RogueBlox are alright people. You don't know them. And then he responded with, I mean, you're the one slobbing on Deepwoken when about a year or two ago it had a pedophile in the dev team. This is the dumbest argument I have ever heard, because it literally works more in my favor in the argument that I made previously about giving devs you don't know personally too much credit. On top of that, when did I ever slob on Deepwoken? A vast majority of my videos on Deepwoken are negative for the sake of improvement, along with most of my videos in general, because I like to see things get better. So please, enlighten me as to when I was slobbing on Deepwoken or glazing it without talking about its negatives in any way, or tell me when I was talking about the negatives of RogueBlox in any way without providing proof, evidence, potential outcomes, and solutions. And if you can do either of those, I will personally hand deliver you $50,000 US out of my own personal checking account right fucking now. I will fly to you. I will bring you $50,000. And also, your argument, which helped mine out about not trusting the dev team, by the way, is extra stupid because it's got nothing to do with the current dev team as far as we know in Deepwoken, and it has nothing to do with Deepwoken as a whole. It's a RogueBlox video. But get this, we don't know anything about the devs personally, as you don't know anything about the RogueBlox devs personally. Some of you just really need to learn to structure an argument and stay on topic properly, because this guy just made an argument from my point of view and then acted like his perspective was right when he just accidentally agreed with me. Like, yeah, you're right, because you're agreeing with me now. Now, another person commented, you're a Deepwoken dog and whine about anything. This game is really good, nearly perfect, and the bazaar is a good feature. With that being said, the game is not nearly perfect, okay? It is alright. It is an alright game that you can waste some time on. And the bazaar is one of the worst things ever added to Roblox in its entirety as a platform, okay? Because even if these devs won't abuse it, or they don't abuse it at all, someone in the future will see this and will abuse it. And with that being said, it's potentially very likely that it is being abused, because currently the bazaar in RogueBlox has a global cap worth that is literally capped in full 24/7. And I get a lot of people may be using it, but if people are circulating items and buying and selling items like I hear some people talking about, because I've seen people that have already made thousands of Robux off of it, then that cap should be fluctuating, not full all the time. I'm not accusing any devs here, but it's a bit weird for a market cap to stay capped, because it's never done that in any economy ever. Not real ones, not fake ones. TF2, Diablo 3, CSGO, market caps don't stay capped. They fluctuate. Why is the RogueBlox market cap staying capped? Anyway, I'm just gonna put this one on the picture. I'm just gonna put the picture up because I think my response was funny. This comment just actually pissed me off because it was just stupid. Anyway, the next comment, which I've actually covered comments like this before, which is just people blatantly lying in my comment section who do not know me or anything about me. You're clearly on Arch's payroll. Take talking bad about Runeslayer when your main source of income is making videos hating. I don't even have the content creator role in the Deepwoken Discord, and I never hated on RogueBlox. I said the bazaar system was bad. And along with that, YouTube is 0% of my income. Sometimes people then say, then why are your videos all over 8 minutes long? Because I write every video script with as much detail as I can manage at the time. I'm not repeating my points to stretch my videos to 8 minutes. I'm just a good writer. And at that, this is a hobby I like to do because I enjoy writing scripts, I enjoy editing videos. I'm angry right now and I'm still enjoying recording this video right now. And I enjoy uploading them, I enjoy making the thumbnails. Sometimes I don't make them because I don't have time, but still, this is my hobby and it takes more effort than anything you've ever done in your entire life because you are 14 and you do not have a job. Anyway, the next comment is, it doesn't matter if the bazaar is in the game or not because people will black market anyway. That's not a valid argument because a vast majority of people in games don't black market. Deepwoken, for example, even when items were super rare and enchants were broken, most people didn't black market. The bazaar system is a commercialized equivalent, which makes it significantly more prominent, and as I've been saying, if these devs don't abuse it, another group of devs will. The bazaar is an awful system, and at that, what do you guys think the bazaar is gonna be like when the game gets updated? Have any of you even thought of that? Right now, it isn't necessarily an issue, because the game is new, but over time, games need to adapt with new stuff of higher tiers or difficulty to unlock in order to stimulate stimulate their communities and stay relevant, or else they will die. I personally expect RogueBlox to be a few month popular game and then fall off due to developer inconsistency. But if it doesn't and the devs stay consistent and keep adding things, then over time, as items get inflated in rarity, they'll just start becoming more expensive in the bazaar, and whenever a new item releases, it'll be super exorbitant pricing in the bazaar, and people will have to pay for it to get it because they'll be super hard to get. And the game will actually become pay to win. Right now, it's not an issue because the game is new, but if the game has longevity, it is guaranteed to become an issue. And if you say, what if they add things without making them rare or difficult to obtain? Well, then the game will die anyway, because without increasing difficulty and stimulating the player base, the game now lacks longevity and it will die. So the game will either die or live long enough to become majorly pay to win, and that is a guarantee unless they restrict the bazaar so heavily that it's useless, at which point they basically remove it from the game. Every time I have made a prediction about a game like this, I've gotten hate for it. I've made it with Jujutsu Infinite, Sorcery, Deep Woken during pre-release, Peroxide, Type Soul, Arcane Odyssey. I have predicted major points of development in a negative light for all of those games, and I have gotten hate for it every single time, and to this day, I have not been wrong once. Shoutouts to YouTube members Green, Brick, Pickle, Goobka, High Card, and Drizzy Drake Fan. Fuck RogueBlox, and fuck all the little kids playing it. I love the rest of you, have an above average day, and goodbye.